John 14:15 says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. And so one of the primary ways that we love the Father, that we love Jesus, is by keeping his commandments. Okay. Now there's over 4,000 commandments in the Bible overall. Okay. I don't even know them all. Okay. But there is a way to keep all the commandments, and we'll learn that tonight. But he's primarily talking about the commandments he gave while he was on the earth. To keep those commandments, to keep that word. Okay? In other words, that's the primary commandments that we are to know, we're to live by, we're to learn. And this is what it means to actually be a Christian, to be a follower of Christ. Matthew 28:20, again, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. Okay? So in the four Gospels, we find 82 universal commands given to his disciples. And one of the things that I've been doing since this last teaching is I've been digging much, much deeper into the order of the commands. And is there a pattern here? Are there mysteries here of what's the most important, how to teach these? Do we just teach them in order that Jesus did? What exactly are there foundational commands that are the foundation, etc.? And so what the first thing I did was to make sure I had the exact order, not according to the books of the Bible, but the exact chronological order, because I don't believe it was an accident. Actually, I know it wasn't. The order that Jesus gave the commands while he was on the earth. And so the first thing I did was to get the correct chronicle order. And that's when I found that I actually had one out of order, which we're going to teach tonight, which is commandment 2. I actually had a different commandment in position 2. But what I saw was that these form a very clear pathway of discipleship that we are to follow, just like the disciples followed Jesus. We're to follow him in this same way, in this same pathway. So this is what I now understand, partially what it means to follow Jesus. You know, you can ask 100 people what it means to follow Jesus every day, and you'll probably get 100 different answers. And it does, there are several things of what it means to follow Jesus daily. But one of the primary things is we are to follow him in learning and obeying and living out these commandments. This is also, we are to do what Christ did. We're to learn Christ. So this is also, I'm convinced that the apostles taught these in the same priority, in the same order as Jesus. And now that I've been reading the letters, the epistles, I'm seeing this pattern again and again and again.